stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Villa de Cruz is an oasis in paradise, equipped with elegant furnishings and trendy rooms. It's got 8 spacious and private bedrooms, 4 kitchens and 4 living rooms. It's the absolute perfect choice for large groups, family reunions and wedding accommodation. In our first story, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited is not letting up when it comes to marketing the island on the global scene. As Omadaro Mills shares with us in this story, TTAL representatives took the opportunity to reach out to its trade partners and spread the word that Tobago is back in business in one of our major source markets, the United Kingdom. Here's more.
Tobago is known as a great bird watching destination, so our presence at the Global Bird Fair 2022 in Oakham, United Kingdom last month was an event that we could not miss. This year, the Tobago team included birdwatching aficionado Newton George, tourism and environmental stakeholders, as well as representatives from the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, TTAL. For the agency, it's the first international trip being undertaken since the COVID-19 pandemic. TTAL also used the time to conduct a marketing and sales mission with key tourism partners. Deputy Chairman of TTAL, Nasib Mohammed, states the significance of this trip.
It gave us an international opportunity to say that we were once again back on the map, open for business, right? And really understand what were the arrangements with some of our foreign partners, or especially in the UK. So it gave us the opportunity to meet directly with them, understand some of the engagements. We had to establish new connections, right? And reinforce those that we did have and to make it even better than what it was.
The sales mission included several media engagements and networking opportunities under the theme Tobago, Relive, Revive, Return.
We want to bring it back to where it was and even better. We want to return it to its original position of being one of the premier destinations of the Caribbean. We want to make sure that Tobago, as I really echo the sentiments of my Chief Secretary, that we want to make sure that Tobago becomes the best little island on the planet. So when we talk about return, but it's return with a plus.
Alpha Lord, General Manager of the Mount Irving Bay Resort and a member of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, was a part of the UK mission trip. He was able to generate interest in the hotel and accommodation areas. Mr. Lord sees the trip as one that will bear much fruit.
We met with the tour operators, then we did the bird fair, then we met with our media teams that represent us in the UK. And when you lump the 3 things together, you see Tobago definitely. If we stay the course, we make the investments necessary, I firmly believe that we will see some positive results coming out of it.
TTAL has plans to continue marketing Destination Tobago at various upcoming tourism events, such as the World Travel Market and a wedding trade show in the United Kingdom. I'm Omadaro Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Mark the dates, because from October 28th to 30th, Tobago is the place to be. Carnival lovers, this story is definitely for you. Listen up.
The days to the greatest little island on the planet's carnival are counting down. This island's roads will come alive with masqueraders for Tobago's carnival from October 28th to 30th. And the bands are not wasting any time to launch their costumes. Meet True Carnival, a band that has injected Tobago's culture into its costumes with their 2022 theme, Indulge. And according to Communications Director of True Carnival, Kemba Winchester, they're planning to indulge locals and visitors in an immersive, authentic Tobago experience.
If you're bringing a carnival experience to Tobago, the best way to go about doing that is to make the experience as authentic and as linked to the cultural traditions as possible. So with that being said, what we are trying to do is incorporate as much of the oral tradition, the cultural elements, the authenticity of what the Tobago experience looks like. We are using cultural carnival characters to inspire our costumes. So we're using, if you think about what the traditions look like, we're using things like the peregrinae, we're using midnight rubber, we're using jamet, all of those, we're injecting that back into the creativity and how we are presenting our costumes on the road.
There are 4 sections of the band, as Miss Winchester explains.
So Villa Coup is a French Creole term that means carnival yard. That is why our band launch would have been themed opening up the yard. It means that we are opening our space, our carnival space, to the public, like letting you all know these are our characters. This is what carnival actually used to look like in Tobago, but adding a modern twist.
For those who may be wondering, all-inclusive packages are available, and True Carnival is calling it a Fetcation experience.
That would be the full experience, everything from a day at Waterholics, taking the clear kayaks, island tours, we're talking Juve, mud, the full carnival experience. When we move down a tier, we have Stink and Dirty. That one would exclude the experience of the vacation side of it and just stop at Mud Mass, Juve, Mass, Road, that is Pretty Mass, that is.
You can follow True Carnival on Instagram for full registration details.
Sherehe means a celebration in Swahili, and a celebration it was, as Darianne Phillips of Euphoric Designs, a local brand created for men and women who need unique clothing, hosted her first fashion show, Sherehe, the celebration. Here's more.
It was one day with 3 events, all targeted at promoting Tobago's creative talents. The day started off with a pop-up shop featuring Tobago's artisans.
The fashion market is basically a space where you could come and get clothing, accessories, shoes, your hair done, makeup, pedicures, massage, all the things that I know I love.
Then it was all about the conversation with men in fashion. The panel featured designers Andrew John Smith, Daniel Clark, entrepreneur Ronaldo John, and creative director Keelan Whitlock. The men had the chance to share their thoughts on the fashion industry in Tobago, how the space can be developed, and the role of men in society.
I believe that too often men are considered trash, and we have good men.
The day closed off with a highly anticipated fashion experience. 30 items, all created by Darianne, were on display, from resort wear to casual clothing.
Fashion show is where I'll show 30 pieces that would speak to who I am. So the categories are split up, 10 categories, and every category would speak to a different part of me.
Oh yeah, only you know. They see me smile, but they don't know what I feel inside. Them city dancing, them city performance. The people see me life and war one, but they don't know say more time it look dormant. And them no see sip on me belly, me a crawl.
The event was hosted at Le Chateau, the Healing Garden in Mount Pleasant.
She never know me have a stage show tonight.
Coming up next, the National Gas Program was relaunched, but what are the thoughts of the fishermen on this? The answer to this is on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the 53rd General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union from August 15th to 17th at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort in beautiful Tobago. This year's theme, Media and Information Literacy. Tobago is a smaller sister in the twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago, nestled in the heart of the Southern Caribbean. Enjoy 116 square miles of historical sites and award-winning eco-friendly land and marine spaces, including the magical Nylon Pool. And you're just a ferry away from a Trinidad adventure. Our warm hospitality, rich cuisine, and unique traditions will inspire you to extend your stay. Tranquil Tobago is where the Caribbean connects for the 53rd CBU Assembly. To register and enjoy discounts on Caribbean airline flights, visit www.caribbroadcastunion.org. Come and experience Beyond Ordinary.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Now, fisher folk spend thousands of dollars just on fuel for their fishing vessels. Despite the high cost and the dangers of the profession, they go out and bring us a vital food supply. Omadara Mills spoke with one fisherman to get his perspective on the reintroduction of the National Gas Rebate Incentive Program right here in Tobago. Here's what he had to say.
Kurt McPherson started to fish with his grandfather when he was a boy. Since then, he's grown to love the sea and is currently a registered fisherman operating out of Buku. Even though it can cost him over $5,000 in gas for his fishing vessels every month, he loves this profession. So an initiative like the National Gas Rebate Incentive Program is a welcome one. The gas rebate incentive gives fisherfolk like Kurt the opportunity to get back some of what they spend on fuel for their fishing vessels.
Well, as a fisherman, it's a small incentive that you would get something back, but I think it is a start for fishermen. Is a start because we didn't have it before. Now we have it, so I think all fisher folks on the island should make use of this incentive. I think it would benefit you, as small as it is. I mean, you would have something coming back, and by that you could have something to look forward to in the future.
In an effort to compensate fisherfolk, the government implemented the National Gas Rebate Incentive Program several decades ago, and the program was relaunched by the THA a few months ago. Under this program, fisherfolk will be reimbursed 10 cents, 12 cents or 75 cents per litre on diesel, gas and oil respectively. Acting Director of Marine Resources and Fisheries, Crystal Edwards, explains the significance of this initiative.
The reality is fisher folks continue to risk their life every day. International fishing is known as one of the most dangerous jobs to have. Sometimes you leave shore and you're not sure to come back. And in appreciating the dangers that they face to go out to bring us fresh fish every day, the government is giving them a little something back to make sure that they understand, yes, we appreciate the toils that they may face.
In order to benefit from the program, fisher folk have to meet certain criteria. They include being a registered fisher folk, having proof of residence in Tobago, having a registered fishing vessel in their name, along with the registration of the vessel's engine. They are also required to show records of authorized receipts from any of the 8 gas stations on the island that are part of the program.
Now that we have this program ongoing, we're expecting that more fishermen, as they try to go through the various criteria that needs to be met, inclusive of ensuring their vessel is in their name, transfers were done if they did purchases from someone else, their engines, etc. are registered. Gas stations are already indicating that fisher folk are coming in on a daily and weekly basis with their quota cards to make sure that they have the associated receipts. And because submissions would be processed quarterly, we are expecting that fisher folk would be bringing in their receipts really soon.
For more information about the requirements or the process, fisherfolk can visit the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development's head office. It's located on the corner of Milford Road and Sherburne Road. People can also call 639-4446 or 639-1966, extensions 3603, 3604 or 3610. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Getting children involved in farming is a positive way for them to spend their time, especially during the vacation period. Omadara Mills and cameraman Isaac James stopped by the Signal Hill Youth Center and got the dirt on what some of those young people have been up to. Have a look.
It was a sunny morning when a handful of youths got their hands down in the dirt and planted a variety of crops such as melon, sweet peppers, tomatoes, chive and corn. They were excited to participate in the practical component of the My Hands, My Produce project that took place at the Signal Hill Youth Center.
I think that is a very good opportunity for the young persons to come out of their house during the July-August vacation, and it's a positive thing for them to do instead of staying home and getting involved in other stuff that would not benefit them, as well as they'll gain good skills from it.
Well, my experience, it was nice because it's a long while we can come out here and do this for some years, because at the COVID pandemic for 2 years. I'm glad to know that we are out here and we could still come and still do it as a pole shoe club and as a team.
I think this project is important for the young people to learn how to grow food instead of being idle and wasting their time. They could put their time into growing some crops.
This initiative comes under the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. Agricultural officers from the Home Gardening Unit of the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development also worked on the project. They facilitated the practical phase as well as the theoretical sessions that were completed virtually last year. June Lashley, parent and leader of the Canaan Bonaccord Police Youth Club, is one person who got involved in both aspects of this agricultural project.
For me it was good because I put into practice. If you come at my home now, I have started my little gardening bottles and bins, so I would have put what I learned into practice so that I could have my own homegrown produce. Yeah, so what I would have worked with my hands, I would consume from.
Through the My Hands, My Produce project, parents as well as children now have knowledge about land preparation, spacing for different crops, types of fertilizers and composting. Coordinator of the Signal Hill Youth Center, Janice Macmillan, says that the initiative is meant to promote healthier eating habits and to stimulate young people's interest in this sector.
It's very important because it's not only growing and planting your own food, there is so much benefits and so much career in agriculture. Some people look at it as just planting, but it's not so. There's the technical, the other aspect of it. You can go into manufacturing, to canning and all, and knowing so much.
Members of the Signal Hill Police Youth Club have taken up the responsibility to continue watering and tending to the plants. In time to come, they expect to reap from the fruit of their labor. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Tobago now has added room stock to its tourism product through a new, comfortable brand. Yep. You guessed right. This story takes you to Comfort Inn and Suites, which was recently opened in Scarborough, Tobago. Come with us.
Well, I must say this is impressive, quite impressive. I have stayed at Comfort Suites in other places in the world, North America in particular, and they always seem to be located along busy freeways and highways. And here we have a Comfort Suite that has a spectacular view, that has neat, tidy, well-appointed bedrooms, adequate parking, a lovely greenway that you can see from your rooms, and I think this is certainly an elevated Comfort Inn. It will provide for Tobago some top quality rooms that we have been longing for a while, and they are first out of the gate.
Oh, we have a rooftop pool, we have our restaurants, we also have another rooftop outdoor entertainment area where we will be doing a lot of our events and parties, which we expect to start, hopefully in the very near future. We have meeting rooms. We do have 74 rooms and suites. It's called Comfort Inn and Suites because we do have rooms
and suites. We have adjoining rooms so that larger families can come and stay together. We have 2-room suites so that you can have a separate sitting area as well as the room itself. We have a gym. We have a full-service spa where you can have everything done from your hair to your nails, massages. We also offer flotation therapy.
I think that Comfort Suites is exactly what Tobago needed and what Scarborough needed to lift its facade. We always talk about the fact that we have had an issue over the years with the quality of room stock on the island. So I'm pleased with the introduction of the Comfort Suites brand to Tobago's room stock. They're adding 75 rooms to that tally, and the quality of the rooms that I've seen thus far, superb. I think that this is Tobago's answer to the Marriott, the Bricks, the Hyatt in Trinidad, and it would attract a number of different types of travelers.
We also have in the works quite a number of conferences and activities planned for Shopper Cultural Complex next door. That will naturally feed into what's happening here. We have the Tobago Carnival coming up, the route of which will pass along where this hotel is. We have the development of the day-night market next door, and so this is ideally located. I hope Tobagonians will be as proud as I am of what I have seen today, and when they are open to the public, I hope that Tobagonians will come and patronize the restaurant, the bars. I can see them getting booked out pretty quickly and very often.
So we have to take a break, but do not go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome to the 53rd General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union from August 15th to 17th at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort in beautiful Tobago. This year's theme, Media and Information Literacy. Tobago is a smaller sister in the twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago, nestled in the heart of the Southern Caribbean. Enjoy 116 square miles of historical sites and award-winning eco-friendly land and marine spaces, including the magical Nylon Pool. And you're just a ferry away from a Trinidad adventure. Our warm hospitality, rich cuisine, and unique traditions will inspire you to extend your stay. Tranquil Tobago is where the Caribbean connects for the 53rd CBU Assembly. To register and enjoy discounts on Caribbean airline flights, visit www.caribbroadcastunion.org. Come and experience beyond ordinary.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Now our final story is all about giving our little ones the skills to become great leaders. Community-based NGO Glen Road United took on the challenge to host a Tiny Tots leadership conference for 3 to 6-year-olds. Let's have a look at how this went down.
The community-based NGO Glen Road United was formed in the year 2020 and has done numerous projects thus far. This year, they saw it fit to host a Tiny Tots leadership conference for children between the ages of 3 to 6. President Marsha Holder and her team saw the need for this initiative to help build self-growth and communication.
This initiative came out of the fact that we are dealing with the Gen Z children, meaning the children born during the COVID period. So we are targeting children from 3 to 6 years old. If you do the calculations, you will realize these were the children when COVID came who would have been a year or 2 years. And them now going out into the school and having to interact with the community, we're seeing a lot of problems in schools with children having problems to assimilate into the community. Why call the Tiny Tots leaders? Anybody who lives with a Tiny Tot know that they're very, very determined. We know that once they're taught something, taught a concept, and it's true for them, they hold us as adults accountable. So we felt that by exposing them, that would happen.
This 4-day conference was packed with many activities which allowed the children to learn while having fun. The Tiny Tots also learned about being independent, proper dental hygiene, eating healthy, and also about bullying.
Bullying. Some of the parents spoke about that some of the children are having issues with bullying, having issues with how to deal with their peers, how to learn to share. We also looked at the idea of good touch and bad touch, understanding what is appropriate, where should they be touched, what is okay, what is not okay. And the opposite is true in terms of them sharing their space without feeling violated.
The Tiny Tots Leadership Conference was held at the Glen Road Community Center. I'm Kian Walker Hazel for Let's Talk Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet, and this morning, viewers, we want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you continuing to join us here. Those of you joining us via TV, those listeners on the radio as you head on out this morning, and those of you connecting with us via social media. Yes, folks, what's been happening yesterday in this space? Don't panic. For those of you that didn't come on yesterday, Ray is just out for a bit on vacation, so don't worry, she's not going to be here with us for a little bit, but she's sure to be back in September, God spare. All right, viewers, so yesterday we would have seen a last evening. For those of you who continue to follow Tobago Updates, we'd have had the opening ceremony of the 53rd Annual General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. And as a gentle reminder to persons, yes, the activities continue this evening and will be brought to you live via Tobago Updates, so remember to tune in. At this point, viewers, we head on over to News in 90 Seconds with Candice.
Thank you, Julian. And here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 16th August, 2022. The 53rd Annual General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasters Union officially opened at the Magdalena Grand Hotel last night. Dozens of Caribbean journalists and broadcasters are in Tobago for the conference. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine challenged journalists to tell the Caribbean story to the world. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley urged broadcasters to rethink the current pattern of reporting news and instead be focused on accurate, credible, and verifiable reporting. The annual General Assembly of the CBU continues today with the Caribbean Media Awards taking place tonight. Meanwhile, woman police officer Ian Jordan, attached to the Chevron Road Police Station, was honored yesterday for her heroic actions in stopping a robbery. On July 9th, WPC Jordan was one of the officers responding to a robbery at the Chinese restaurant in Chevron Road, where a bandit sought to attack her and take away her firearm. WPC Jordan fought back, retrieved her gun, and shot the bandit. For her heroic actions, WPC Jordan was honored by her fellow servicemen in a surprise appreciation ceremony. Commenting on the incident, WPC Jordan said she was determined to not let the bandit get away, even if it cost her her life. And now nationally, as promised, the government of Trinidad and Tobago issued a 6-month ban on the export of scrap iron from the country in an effort to deal with the theft and vandalism of state and private assets. The measure came into effect on August 12th following a cabinet decision, but was announced yesterday during a press conference by Attorney General Reginald Amor. Perpetrators can face a fine of up to $15,000 or a maximum of 12 months imprisonment. Within 3 months, the Attorney General will present a draft regulatory framework for the scrap iron industry to be considered by Cabinet. Meanwhile, the Scrap Iron Dealers Association of Trinidad and Tobago is preparing to take legal action against the state over the ban. And that was your news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Julian.
Thank you so much, Candice, there for bringing us the news in 90 seconds. And just to recognize some of our viewers on the live this morning, we see QK Melville on with us, Denise Hosford, Alicia Samuel. Good morning, Rhea Richardson George, joining us on the live this morning. Keep safe out there indeed. All right, viewers, this morning we got an interesting lineup for you. But just before we head on into that, we're going to head on over to our birthday celebrations this morning, and I think we only have one birthday on the lineup this morning, and that special birthday greeting goes out to Joanne James. So this is wishing Joanne James a happy birthday, and God's continued blessings coming out to you from the Tobago Updates family. All right, viewers, and you know, I've got to pause for a moment in the circumstances and once again call out on Caribbean Airlines. My understanding and information, similar to yesterday, a number of Tobagonians unable to get across to Tobago. Ticket sales closed off, and once again Tobagonians presenting themselves as early as 5 a.m. This morning at the airport for the opening time of the ticket sales counter, being told that they're still trying to deal with the balance of about 60 or more from yesterday to get to Tobago. So in fact, if you are there new this morning, you cannot even buy a ticket and you have to wait till possibly a 9 a.m. update. Folks, something is not working right with this system, and we're really calling on management and staff and the team. Let's relook the entire system of Caribbean Airlines and how it is currently working to the benefit of our domestic air bridge. We've got to do something. Cannot continue in this manner and continue to be acceptable in any way, form, or fashion. All right, so just a gentle reminder out there. Viewers, coming up in our rundown this morning, we're looking forward to hearing conversations from Alicia Edwards, chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, TTAL, and we're speaking to Tobago Tourism in terms of the partner forum that's coming up. We'll also be chatting with Verdine Williams, Consumer Liaison Officer, Consumer Affairs Unit, and we're speaking to Keep Alert. It's a webinar series that will be upcoming as well. And yes, folks, today we're also in conversation with the King of Soca, but this time we're focusing on the book, and we're looking forward to chatting with Elizabeth Lady Montano, author of The King of Soca. And this morning we wrap with information and highlights regarding Dream, the alternate reality. We're speaking to the Tobago Carnival in October, and initiatives already being launched by FET promoters. And we'll be chatting with Keyshawn Morton and Nikosi Dick, directors of Mighty Crush Entertainment. So that's our rundown here for this morning on the Tobago Updates morning show, folks. And we want to thank you so much for your continued love and support. But this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tell us about your organization, institution, when established, organizational structure. What are your organization's cause, mission, objectives? Please provide us with your organization's website, email, or social media handle. Does your organization have a bank account with a financial institution in Tobago? If so, please provide us the name of the financial institution. What is your role within the organization? How do we contact you? In 100 words or less, please tell us a bit about your organization's good work and why a donation from team might help. If your organization is selected to receive a donation from team, how will the funds be utilized? How will the community or constituency served by your organization benefit from a team donation? How would the donation from team be publicly acknowledged or advertised?
The Board of Directors of Lambo Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting guided for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. At this point, we just take a quick break for a little technical difficulty.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:11 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. We should have online with us now Alicia Edwards, Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Julian, and good morning to the viewing and listening audience across Tobago and the world.
Excellent. I want to start off from the onset indicating to you, tell us in a snapshot, you would have taken up the responsibility as chairman in terms of a new board being installed for the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. How has that experience been in one or two lines?
Interesting. The thing about it is that we took our time as a board to gel and to ensure that we were on one page. And now we're coming today because we've spent some time figuring out what our strategic imperatives are. And so the purpose of today's activity is really to liaise with the stakeholders for whom we work. The board understands that TTAL is not a law unto itself, but basically the architecture, the road network, the bridges and so on, that will help Tobagonians make their tourism business and tourism activities successful. And so from where we sit, it's important to come to the stakeholders, to inform them about our plans, talk to them about where we are, introduce ourselves first of all, and also to humbly ask their support for the initiatives that we intend to do, and also to get their feedback as we go forward, because it's really a partnership, and that is why we've actually called it not like a stakeholder or anything, but we've talked about the fact that we really want to become an integral part and partner in how you make your tourism-based business successful.
Excellent. So as we head on into the initiative taking place today, the Tobago Tourism Partner Forum, very interesting, hosted by the board of TTAL. So is it that there's going to be an actual opportunity for engagement with the chair and members of the board with regards to the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited this evening?
Yes, that's the intention. We were appointed and people saw us on TV. They might have seen blurbs of us on social media and so on. But it will be the first time that they actually will meet the board. So all members of the board will be there. Staff members will be there as well. So apart from whatever formal activities we may have planned in terms of presentation, question and answers in a public way, there is also the opportunity for people to interact with us one-on-one, to clarify things, and basically to get to know each other, because it's all about relationship as well.
For those persons now tuning in and connecting and wanting to be a part, is there still an opportunity to register before this afternoon session starts at 2 p.m., I think it is my information says?
Yes, it's at 2 p.m. at the Shaw Park Cultural Complex. We have a Google form that's on our social media pages. People can just click the link. There are just a few questions that you have to answer in order to register. And even if you have not registered, you're welcome to come on down. We're going to actually have a registration desk at the event because we know that some people may not have registered online. So you can actually physically come down and register and join the conversation. We have space for you and we're willing to hear what you have to say to us.
In terms of tourism partners, as you said, you've moved away from the focus word of stakeholders, which is commonplace when we speak to the issue of tourism. Give us an idea of some of those sectors that you are anticipating will be represented today in terms of as the broader part. You know, we may know the standard hotel and so on, but some of the broader aspects when you look at the partners in tourism in the Tobago space.
We are interested in hearing from the creatives, the people who operate in entertainment, the people who operate in craft, in art, in music, and those kinds of sectors that really have not been developed and monetized to any great way. We know that the taxi drivers and the hoteliers, the bed and breakfast, the restaurants would be there. But anybody whose work, whose economic activity can be impacted or enhanced by the increased arrivals and increased spend on the island, those are the people that we're interested in talking about today. Because it's not just about our arrivals for us. We would feel satisfied if every Tobagonian who engages in any activity related to tourism can make more money at the end of our tenure. And so our focus is really tourism as business. So when people come, we're interested in people doing more in terms of monetizing, making sure they leave no money on the table, creating opportunities to ensure that they get their full due and that they actually make as much profit as they can from this thing that we call tourism, because it's a business.
Would we say that one of the short-term focus or focal points rather for the Tourism Agency Limited will obviously be the October 2022 Carnival, and what's the involvement of TTAL in terms of pushing in that direction?
Well, TTAL has been co-opted as part of the marketing for the event, the actual marketing for the event. So tomorrow there's the launch, the actual media launch, and thereafter there are a number of ramped-up activities. And so our role is really to help to plan and strategize the activities of the marketing campaign, do the postmortem afterwards, and make recommendations for what could be done better the second year around. Because as you know, this is the beginning, this is the first year, and it will be important for us to look at what was done, how it was done, the timing, the execution, and all of that to better inform what happens next year and in the years to come.
We have heard the age-old statement in the context of tourism that we ought to get to the point in Tobago where we recognize it's not just about a board, it's not just about an agency, it's not just about the THA. It is about each and every individual in terms of taking up that responsibility to drive and to move and to grow and to develop tourism on the island. What are some of the strategies that TTAL is giving consideration to in terms of seeking to move us in that direction, or rather encourage that kind of thinking, or to promote that kind of thinking among the general public here in the Tobago space as proud Tobagonians?
There are two things. One, for the general public, we actually are in the second year of something called Uplifting Service. It's actually a 3-year service arrangement, a training arrangement conducted by a Singaporean firm. And what we were going to see in this second year is where we actually start to have training, workshop, and coaching sessions for the regular man on the street. One of the issues that we've continued to have in Tobago tourism is the whole idea of customer service and people understanding that ensuring that people feel welcome and that their experiences wherever they are, not just at tourism-based properties, at groceries, at gas stations, at vegetable stores, that the experience has to be a positive one in order for them to have a good perception and recommend the island. So that program is an all-encompassing one that is being conducted in conjunction with the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. And you're going to see a lot more activity, because in the first year, it was basically training the trainers. This year, you're going to see actually a lot more activity in terms of on the ground, reaching and meeting and touching base with the people. On the other end, we are excited to announce that we're having a digitization program as well. One of the issues with Tobago and the fact that why we leave money on the table, I call it leave money on the table, is the fact that it's difficult to book our sites, amenities, attractions, etc. before you come to the island. And so through the digitization program, we're hoping that eventually tourism properties will have a functioning website or social media platform that can be linked to ours. And so people sitting wherever they are in the world at whatever time of the day and night, that they can book your tours, that they can book your braiding and natural hair appointments, that they can see your craft, book and reserve them. So those are two of the things that we really are focusing on to bring home that it's business, and that because we are competing with the rest of the world, we have to have world-class standard operations and practices in all our tourism-based businesses.
I know it may not be directly within the purview of TTAL, but it must be of concern. With all these plans that we are moving forward with, we are still faced with severe challenges when it comes to the sea and air bridge, which is the actual means by which persons are to get to Tobago. What's the plan in terms of being able to respond to that, probably even make recommendations or even engage some of the said partners in determining and making recommendations to the Port Authority and CAL? Do you feel it is systemic? Is it something that needs to be dealt with at a governmental level? Where do you see some of the challenges existing, and how do we get past that?
Well, as a Tobagonian who have lived here for most of my life, I'm sure that along with everybody else who is Tobagonian, we all have horror stories of the port and of the boat. So this is an issue that has been around forever. I've been there through the days of TTAS, Air Caribbean, and all the other versions that we've had on the air bridge, and from the Geltin and everything else on the sea bridge. The thing, we recently had a meeting with the Minister of Tourism, and one of the difficulties that I don't think we're figuring out is that whereas in Tobago, transportation and tourism are housed within the same division, transport is a separate ministry in Trinidad. And so for a lot of the time, we have been making representation in Tobago to the Minister of Tourism and not enough representation to the Ministry of Transport. So there has to be some coordinating mechanism to ensure that whatever is necessary for tourism is really put on the top burner of the discussions with not just the Ministry of Tourism, because it's a central government issue, but the Ministry of Transportation as well. The other thing as well, I think that there has to be some realistic demonstration from the central government that they recognize that the freedom to move is crucial for economic development anyway, and especially in Tobago. And so I see it as something that is bigger than tourism. I see that the island of Tobago can take off and do a lot more and grow a lot faster if people can move freely and if people can move in a predictable manner. And so at the level of the THA, I'm heartened by the outreaches made by my secretary and also the chief secretary. And it's not going to be fixed immediately, but obviously it's a step in the right direction, engaging those partners and demanding something that for me is a basic human right.
All right. Any updates for us as well? We know within recent times we would have had that the CEO is no longer with the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, and we saw advertisements, etc. Updates with regards to the status of the engagement of a new CEO to continue to drive the mandate and direction of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, of course, reporting to the Board of Directors.
Yeah. So what we saw in the papers was really a request for proposals from a recruiting firm, an executive recruiting firm, who would lead the search for a new CEO. Those proposals have been received, and the tenders committee of our board is considering them and should have a recommendation for us by next week. Once those come, we will engage a firm, and we're hoping that we will have a new CEO selected and in place, if not in December, by the beginning of the new year. In the interim, we have made recommendations to the Secretary of Tourism for what the transitional management should look like. Those recommendations are being considered, but they have not been finalized as yet. So the thing about it is that we don't just want a placeholder in the next couple of months. We want a situation where there's actual activity continuing, because there's so much to do. And we look forward, as chair of the board, there's so much to do. I look forward with my team to have a steady and stable appointed CEO in place so that the plans of the agency continue to roll out. The agency has been fortunate as a special purpose company to have had one steady CEO over the last 5 years. And we're hoping that this wave in the road will quickly be settled up, and that we will have another stable and appointed CEO on board.
All right. In your closing statements, remind our viewers again the initiative that's taking place, where it's happening, and as well we have some viewers asking on the live in relation to if it's going to be a hybrid approach, so that there'll be an option for those who may not be able to make it in person. So you can clarify that in your closing statements as well.
Yes, so the actual physical activity takes place at 2 p.m. at the Shore Park Cultural Complex. It will be live streamed via social media platforms, so people who cannot come in person, they can actually join us on the live. We may be able to take questions. I'm not too sure. We're going to have to figure out with the technical people if that is possible, but we will make that clear in the actual live. We are also encouraging people who have not registered via our Google arrangement that they can physically come down and register at the desk today. We look forward to seeing you. Once your life and economic activity and the well-being of your family is affected by tourism earnings, we hope to see you to join the conversation so that you can share your plans, give us your support, and also, most importantly, give us your feedback so that we can do what we need to do to make your life easier and more productive.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, Ms. Alicia Edwards, for joining us here on the Tobago Updates morning show, speaking about the Tobago Tourism Forum, a partner forum that takes place today from 2 p.m. At Shore Park. And as she indicated, you'll also have the opportunity to connect via the live. Viewers, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:26 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Viewers, in this segment, we are chatting with Consumer Liaison Officer of the Consumer Affairs Unit within the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Ms. Verdine Williams. Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, Julian. Good morning.
Happy to have you on set as always.
Same here.
All right. This morning, as we head on in, we're speaking to the issue of Keep Alert, and it's a webinar series. So we're going to dive straight on in. Tell us about when is this going to be taking place in terms of the webinar series? Has it started already in terms of its flow?
No, it's going to be starting on the 25th of August, and we are starting with Mr. Hadid, Anthony Hadid. He's the CEO of a company called Your Life's Purpose. We would have chosen him specifically because we had a webinar earlier this year when there was a rise in the fuel prices. Right. And out of that webinar, we recognized that consumers need to develop coping skills with the turbulent financial period or the climate that we are going through. So we went and we searched and we found Mr. Hadid. We actually had programs with him earlier, and he's a person who is very adept at calming person's spirit and giving great advice and tools and method by which persons can calm themselves and look at opportunities instead of seeing challenges, and to see how to cope with what we are going through right now. That's why he would have been chosen, and his company was chosen for that specific purpose.
What would have been some of the general concerns coming out from the consumers that kind of led you in this direction to recognize that a webinar series of this nature becomes even more critical at a time like now, with persons struggling with the challenges of life itself?
What would have happened, because it's not going to change. The fuel prices is not going to reduce. The cost of flour is not going to drop. The cost of sugar is not going to drop. And consumers were feeling out of whelm. They could not cope. They didn't know what to do because the price is just constantly rising. So what should we do? So we see where consumers need to be guided to use their internal mechanism to cope with what we are going through, because it's not going to change. And these raising prices that we are experiencing is not unique to us in Trinidad or Tobago. These are controlled by the worldwide economic, what should we say, dynamics that's taking place. And we, in our small sphere of the hemisphere or the sphere of the world, there's nothing that we can really do much to change the prices, that the price increase in basic foodstuff, the price increase in fuel, especially like, for instance, the Ukraine war. We can't control that. So what consumers had to do, they had to look at, probably they need to curb their spending. change their eating habits, grow kitchen gardens, look for opportunities where they may not have seen opportunities before to get into businesses. So those are the niche areas that we want to capture in these webinars. We are starting with the one with Mr. Huddy that is going to be teaching about the soft skills that you need to develop, how you need to cope, how do you see yourself, what you need to do as a person in order to cope.
All right. Tell us a little bit about as well. Is it just going to be one-off? I know that it states clearly the webinar series. What can we look forward to in terms of beyond the initial, as would take place with Anthony Hadid in terms of in August?
As you said, it's a series. So we are having one on the 25th. We are starting on the 25th, and Mr. Hadid will be launching it for us, right? And then we are having another one on the 8th of September that will be dealing with, this is a great one also. This is Mr. Roy Marcellier. He's the owner of the Academy of Auto Mechanics in Trinidad. So he's now going to come and tell consumers what you need to do in order to make your car burn less fuel, to make your tires last longer, how you need to maintain your car, how you need to see about your car, because this is critical right now. So he's going to deal with the second one. He's on the 8th of September. On the 15th of September, we are having someone from the agricultural division coming to speak about grow boxes and kitchen gardens. These are things that you can use to curb the amount of money you spend. And I'm an advocate for it, because under the COVID dynamic, when we were all locked down, I would have started, and you see where you can actually save and you know what you're eating, right? So they're going to come and deal with that for us. We are closing off by having consumers look at how they can probably save. Can you still save under this period? Can you invest? And we are using one of our sister units, that's a cooperative unit in our said division. They will be coming to speak to consumers about that aspect of it. So it is a series. We are looking at coping mechanism. We are looking at how to take care of your vehicle so you burn less gas, you spend less money on your vehicle. We are looking at your eating habits, and that's where agriculture division come in, where you can help yourself, and then we are looking at savings and investment. The cooperative unit will be coming there to guide us.
I like the connection in terms of the areas that you plan to look at over this period. For the individual looking on and having an interest, is it that they're required to participate in all? Are you encouraging participation in all the areas? And tell us about the process for registering and getting involved.
We have our Facebook page. Another unit, another sister unit, we have the communication unit, would have put up on our Facebook page the links to register. We would be sending out email we have our group of persons that we usually get involved in these programs. We'll be emailing them the links so that they can register. It's best that you register so we can see how to cater best to your needs. And you go into our Facebook page, you can go into the Consumer Affairs Facebook page and you do your registration there. So that's how we are inviting persons to get involved. And yes, it's as you said, it's a connection. So we want persons to be in all of the webinars and to ask questions and to share their experiences with us.
I can't have you on in relation to the Consumer Affairs Unit and not speak about the broader mandate of the unit within the context of the Tobago House of Assembly. Again, remind our viewers, you are there to support and assist in areas, especially, sometimes people have challenges in engaging with, business entities and so on. Just remind our viewers the avenues by which and their rights to be able to report. I remember those days of the songs and the catchphrases in terms of reminding consumers about their rights.
Okay, consumers, you have 8 international rights. I wouldn't go through each right now. You also have responsibilities. We are having a challenge in this area. Consumers tend to know their rights right now because we have been preaching the rights and advocating for the rights so long. However, they are not practicing their responsibilities enough. And your right could tend to be a bit challenging or become invalid if you did not practice your responsibility. Like, for instance, you have the right to redress, which is to get fair settlement for whatever claim you have. But if you did not practice your responsibility, like asking questions, getting the equipment tested, knowing how to use it, you may have just caused that right to become invalid. So consumers need to practice their responsibilities, and then it's easier for us to get the rights to work for you.
All right, a very interesting perspective. As you said, you all have done a good job in promoting the rights of the consumer. So it's now also time to take a good look in terms of reminding consumers about those responsibilities. Going back to the webinar series, it speaks to self-empowerment techniques and coping with change. What kind of numbers are you all catering for? Is this going to be a connection that happens virtual, in person? Because you know we're now at that point where things are happening hybrid, some are still virtual, etc. Just give our viewers an idea of how the forum will proceed for the webinar series.
This is going to be totally virtual. The time in which we are keeping it, we don't want persons to leave their workplace. It's for 1 hour, so it should not be hard for consumers to log on and get involved. It's going to be from 10 to 11 a.m. And it's totally virtual, as I said. So what we are asking consumers to do is speak to your supervisors and your managers to get just that 1 hour of uninterrupted time to log on and get involved. And we are looking at numbers of as far as wide. Right? Right now, the number we actually, yes, virtual allows that. So we are looking to get persons. We have seen persons who are even interested out of Trinidad and Tobago, but we want to cater more to get our persons here to become involved and to know what you should do in order to cope. Because listen, within this past couple months, the price of flour would have raised like about 3-4 times. And it's not going to be going down in a hurry because of the dynamics that is taking place outside. So you need to learn. It's either you're going to go to, they said, the local flours, which might be more costly than the imported flour, or you need that you have to eat different things, or you eat less, or something. So come out and get involved in the webinar and see what you can learn to use to adapt for your particular household that could help you to adjust to what we are going through.
Right. Any particular age group that you're catering to in terms of this initiative?
We are looking at persons from 25 to 55. So the persons who have the money, the persons who are influencing the homes, the persons who are spending. Because why we look at 25, a lot of young persons now are living on their own. And they are feeling the pinch also. So then you come out and you see what to do. And why we went to 55, even over 55, these are the persons that are spending a lot also because they are in-house. They have their own homes. And they may be the one who are supporting the home. So we want persons to be there. And also, they would need help. Some of them would need help to know what to do virtually, how to get into the program. So we want the younger persons to help them to see how to log on, what to do, so they would understand how to use the devices to get into the program.
And then I think we ought to also look at the flip side for the sake of, in some instances, we have the mature persons, they have a good idea in terms of being able to manage their households and so on. And then have you had this situation where even children and, you know, those 25, 30-year-olds that are still living at home, but you try, the parents and those elder ones in the household trying to teach them the values of being able to manage and so, what do you say to those individuals? So you may not be on your own just yet, but they are trying to teach you about taking on that level of responsibility and being able to cope. What's your message to that grouping also that feels that I'm not the owner yet, I just give mommy and daddy some money?
You need to learn how that money is being spent, that you're passing on. If you're giving money, you need to learn how that money is being spent, because at some point in time you may be aspiring for your own home. How are you going to run your home? You need to learn how to budget, how to manage your budget, how to spend the money, when you need to save, when you need to plant that kitchen garden, when you need to walk instead of driving down the road. You may need to walk, save some gas, save some tire, or just eat less.
Interesting perspective. As we look to wrap this morning's interview, I want you to remind our viewers and our listeners in terms of the upcoming initiative that's taking place, the time, the process for registration and so on, for those connecting or joining in just a little bit late within the interview.
Okay. We are having a webinar series. It's starting on the 25th of this month, which is August. So it's the 25th, the 8th of September, the 15th, the 22nd of September. Now, we want you to get involved in all 4 of the series, right? Because each topic is different and they are interconnected. So we want persons to come on board. You can call our office. It's 639-6556. That's 639-6556, and you register there. Or you can go onto the division's Facebook page, or you can go onto the Consumer Affairs Facebook page and you register there. The webinar is dealing with how to cope with the climate that we are living in. And we are giving you coping mechanisms. Those are the soft skills you would need to get, the internal skills you would need to get, what you would need to do. And then we are also showing you how to plant kitchen gardens, what you would need to do. If you need to save, we are also telling you how to maintain your car better so that you get better mileage from your gas. And of course, you would hear a bit about your rights and responsibilities also. So come on, come on.
Wow. Viewers, listeners, I don't think you have a choice now, but ensuring that you register to participate. So much to be gained from this webinar series being powered by, and I like the terminology, powered by the Consumer Affairs Unit within the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. And it gets started on the 25th of August.
Yes, it does.
On the 25th of August, so viewers, take the opportunity now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Register today. Ensure that you head on to their Facebook page, social media, and get your opportunity to register today. We want to thank you, Vidine Williams, Consumer Liaison Officer within the Consumer Affairs Unit of the Division, for joining us here on set at the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Viewers, this is your opportunity. Viewers, this is your time. Remember to connect. And I can't help it at all, but I just hear the songs ringing in my head about the rights of the consumer indeed. So we're all looking forward to this webinar series upcoming. We want to connect with some of our viewers on the live this morning. I see joining us on the live, we have Andrea Macmillan, Pearl Murray Beard, Natalie Kojo Nelson, CC Bax, Giovanni Campbell, Shirley Cook, Marilyn Spence, Joe Field, faithful viewer indeed, Afisha McCain, Lisel James. We want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to connect with us here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And as we prepare to head on out, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:42 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. In this segment, we have the opportunity to chat with the King of Soca, and it's about the book, The King of Soca. And this morning, we are happy to be joining us virtually, Elizabeth Lady Montano, author of The King of Soca. Good morning. Good morning. Lady
Good morning.
Montano.
I'm hearing you. Good morning.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show this morning. So this morning we're having the conversation about the King of Soca, Marshall Montano, and more importantly, this book that really did justice in terms of seeking to give that overall capture. Let me start by asking you, give us an idea of what was the inspiration for you? We know that you have been in the realm and in the role of manager and taking on those responsibilities over the years. Tell us about transitioning into recognizing that I needed to get to the point where this is documented and this is captured. The genesis.
Well, that point started very early, from the very beginning, because I started documenting from the very first day. So it goes back for 40 years. So that's when the documenting started. We have an archive, a 40-year archive. But the idea for the book came up from my thesis In 2018, I graduated in my master's in philosophy, cultural studies, and my thesis was based on Machel, the making of Monk Monty. But it was more academic, so that I wanted to share it with the man in the street. I wanted to share it with the fans. I wanted to share it with everybody, all those who support him and even the naysayers.
And I remember from as early as the days of Too Young to Soca. And I note specifically, I want you to give us a little insight in relation to the cover of the book. Has Machel in the midst as a very young one, of those greats within our space here. Tell us a little bit about that, starting from the very cover of the book.
Okay, well, the cover of the book, that picture was taken in 1984. It was when Machel went or started his professional career, that is traveling, visiting various countries. It was when he had won his the Junior Calypso Monarch in 1984, singing the letter. And one of the promoters traveled from New York to Siparia to get Machel to come and perform. And he was a supporting act for those greats you see on the cover there. And that picture was taken by Everybody's Magazine at Madison Square Gardens. And I thought it was just the right picture because it seemed as though they were preparing him for the next step. For the it's like you're running a relay and you're passing the baton, and here is this little boy we think that will take over or join us. And I thought it was very appropriate.
So, I'm looking through again, and it deals with various areas in terms of, and I want you to give us a little snapshot. Walk us through, for those listeners who might not be seeing as we speak to the areas in this book, in terms of being able to get that kind of capture, the landscape and the early years. Just walk us through the main areas that are highlighted in terms of the parts and the sections within this book that captures the life of Machel.
Right. Well, for example, the early years, I went back as far as 1956, and I paid special attention to the Mighty Sparrow, because the Mighty Sparrow has something like a parallel experience with Machel, where he was adored and he was hated, in the sense that they complained about how Sparrow used to mix the music and he wasn't a Calypsonian because he didn't write his songs. But then yet Sparrow is the greatest. They call him the king of Calypso, and he's still around. So it's similar. So I went back into those years, and I also looked at the evolution of soca and the work that Ra Shorty did. And coming up to 1982, when Machel started the early years. And the early years looked at 1982 to 1986, which was the Bajan invasion. And at that point, Machel decided, no, we have to take things back. And in 1997, we moved from the early years into the Winer Boy period, which was when Big Truck came on the scene and changed the face of soca. And that Winer Boy period went on to 2006. And one of the main things about Machel is that he always evolves. He always reinvents himself. So in 2007, he became Machel Montano HD. And HD was a very, very special period. It was a period when a lot of transformation took place and a lot of experiences. And after that went from 2007 to 14, and then he reinvented himself again into the Monk Monty. And that period took us up to 2022, which is when the book was released. And then I looked at part of the book, I looked at it sort of like a looking back. What are the qualities that Machel developed that helped him to have this sustainable career for so long and still be at the top of his game? So I gave some of those characteristics, which are really based on core values. And then to the end of the book, we have where we're looking at beyond the 40, because this year we celebrate 40 years. So what is there beyond the 40 for Machel? So basically, that is the contents. That is how the book is made up. And in between, we featured people. We didn't hear my voice alone. Marshall spoke a lot in the book, and we get everything, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, you know, and it is where it is today. As I said, I was motivated.
I like how you are blending between author and mommy mode, Lady Montano. And, you know, I want to ask the question, when, you know, you sometimes as children, we have the fear that when our parents get excited and our parents are proud about us, that sometimes they might share a little too much with friends and share a little too much with the world. Was Marshall ever concerned any at all that you may reveal certain things in this book that he preferred to remain within the family circles in this journey of life?
But our life is public and we believe in the truth, so we don't really have anything to hide. And we would like some of these experiences that Marshall had to be known. We would like the truth to be out there, because sometimes, you know, people say things or spread messages that are so non-fact. And, you know, and you hear us talking today in society about misinformation and fake news. You got to get to the story, and I'm what you call the ultimate insider when it comes to Marshall.
So tell us, would you have also used the opportunity by way of this book to set the record straight on some of the issues that have come up over the years in relation to Marshall Montano?
Well, I ain't setting no record straight, because I don't have any records to set straight. What I do is I just tell the stories and I tell the truth. You know, and I was also motivated in 2018 when I graduated, you know, the thesis. I became motivated after I came back from Cuba, because I was invited to a conference in Cuba that the topic was on Marshall. And they never told me what they were going to speak about, but I was excited, so I went, you know, and one of the presenters said in his presentation, he was talking about Marshall collaborating with Alison Hines, and he said when they collaborated on Faluma, Marshall never did Faluma, you know, so it means then that he didn't have the facts right. And when I listened to some of these things, I realized that they were based on I don't know what, certainly not research, and they didn't ask me.
Tell me something. You've taken this opportunity in terms of documenting the king of soca. Would you say it's equally important to document your very own life experiences, which gives us from a different perspective, Lady Montano? Because, you know, you have your fan club as well.
Everybody has been asking me that, right? My memoirs. I will do the memoirs, but at present, I want to make sure that our Caribbean stories are told, and I want to make sure that Marshall's story is told. And I'm 71, you know, I'll be 72. So I have to take my time. So let me finish this job, because I want to go to schools, I want to visit communities, and I also want to go to universities. So I want to spread the message far and wide. And the main thing is I want people to know, especially parents or young people who are looking forward to a career, that you don't have to be anybody great to get into something else. But there are certain qualities that will help you. It's not a Bible, but I'm just showing you what it is that Marshall had to do, or how he developed these areas that made him successful. And I want to share it, you know, because I think knowledge is nothing if it's not shared.
And what's important is many people know Marshall exclusively from the side of, you see him on a stage and you see him in the context of entertainment. What are you really hoping as one of the core points? Because I know you have a number of areas covered within that you really want readers to leave with in terms of, you know, after going through this book, The King of Soca.
Yeah, well, as I said before, I want people to feel inspired, motivated, but I don't want them to take it as this is what I have to do, because each person is individual. It's an individual experience. But I want them to see that here it was this little boy from in the country who worked hard and was able to succeed, so that you too can succeed. So it is mainly as an inspiration. I always like to deliver the positive, but at the same time, giving you the facts so that you know that no journey is a straight road, and we certainly had some very tough experiences along the path.
All right, as we look to close this morning's interview, where can viewers access this book, The King of Soca?
Well, we have the books right now. We're distributing them into the nation's bookstores, but it's also on our website, www.kingofsoca.com. So you can go up there and order, and it will be delivered to your doorstep.
All right, excellent. Final 30 seconds. Any closing words?
Well, I want to say thank you for the support. I'm very surprised. I'm excited because people seem to want to know about a little more about Machelle and Machelle's journey. So I'm very, very excited about that. The book looks really beautiful. I'm also excited and very happy that I was able to do it locally. Because at first they were telling me I had to go to China and I had to go to this. And my husband, Monty, was saying, "But so you're sure there isn't anybody local who could print this book?" And after looking around, I did get, and if you look at it, it is beautifully bound, and that was done by Office Authority. And then the whole layout, if you look at the design is also beautiful, and it was done by Trinidadians, young Trinidadians practice. And I'm very, very proud that I can show it off. Then the online store that is helping us is also local, young Trinidadians on queue. So these are the things that I take pride in, being able to support my people and support local.
Excellent. Thank you so much once again for joining us on set. It's always an exciting moment when we connect with Lady Montano, and this morning we want to say thank you so much for joining us as we spoke about author of The King of Soca. Remember to get your copy. We've got our copy here in studio. Remember to get yours. Certainly something to look forward to. Viewers, at this point we prepare to head on out to a break, and this is your opportunity and our reminder to you. This is your time to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates morning show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates morning show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Days to the greatest little island on the planet's carnival are counting down. This island's roads will come alive with masqueraders for Tobago's carnival from October 28th to 30th. And the bands are not wasting any time to launch their costumes. Meet True Carnival, a band that has injected Tobago's culture into its costumes with their 2022 theme, Indulge. And according to Communications Director of True Carnival, Kemba Winchester, they're planning to indulge locals and visitors in an immersive, authentic Tobago experience.
If you're bringing a carnival experience to Tobago, the best way to go about doing that is to make the experience as authentic and as linked to the cultural traditions as possible. So with that being said, what we are trying to do is incorporate as much of the oral tradition, the cultural elements, the authenticity of what the Tobago experience looks like. We are using cultural carnival characters to inspire our costumes. So we're using, if you think about what the traditions look like, we're using things like the peregrinae, we're using midnight rubber, we're using jamet, all of those, we're injecting that back into the creativity of how we're presenting our costumes on the road.
There are 4 sections of the band, as Miss Winchester explains.
So Villa Coup is a French Creole term that means carnival yard. That is why our band launch would have been themed opening up the yard. It means that we are opening our space, our carnival space, to the public, letting you all know these are our characters. This is what carnival actually used to look like in Tobago, but adding a modern twist.
For those who may be wondering, all-inclusive packages are available, and True Carnival is calling it a Fatcation experience.
That would be the full experience, everything from a day at Waterholics, taking the clear kayaks, island tours, we're talking Juve, mud, the full carnival experience. When we move down a tier, we have Stink and Dirty. That one would exclude the experience of the vacation side of it and just stop at Mud Mass, Juve, Mass, Road, that is pretty Mass, that is.
You can follow True Carnival on Instagram for full registration details.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, in this segment, as we head on down with our rundown this morning, we are chatting in relation to Mighty Crush Entertainment, and we're speaking with two of the directors this morning, Ishan Morton and Nikosi Dick. Good morning and welcome on set.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So this morning we're here to speak about Dream, the alternate reality. But before we dive on in there, many people know Mighty Crush in the entertainment industry. Tell us a little bit more in terms of the background that would have led to this growth and development that people have seen over the years, to the extent now that if you hear he's going to be in an event, you want to be there.
This started over 15 years ago when the events, the 1st of October, that weekend, the first weekend in October, started around his birthday. His birthday is normally around that time. His birthday is actually the 2nd. So we started that over 15 years ago in the Bell Garden Pan Tent. Eastside Pan Tent. Way back 15 years ago, and then we came to Scarborough, Barcode, Pigeon Point, Shade. So it started, Dreamers started from since then. It's good this year that we're in the carnival ecosystem, which makes it a bit more exciting. We're actually at the start of the carnival, so we're saying that Dream is really the start of the road to Tobago Carnival. We hope to bring that excitement that other Tobago promoters and events will take up going down to the carnival, and we're glad to be a part of that this year.
So we're diving right on in. Tell our viewers, when is Dream carded for, what time, where is it going to be taking place?
Okay, so Dream is the 1st of September, October, sorry. It's going to be
to come before time. Huh?
Yeah, we're already very excited. We've been missing for 2 years because of the COVID, so you know. All right. The event is going to be at the Shore Park complex. It's going to be actually inside of the complex. That is something that we want to push and ensure that the ladies know that when they come, they don't have to worry about the weather, rain, the high temperatures, nothing like that. Everything is going to be fully air conditioned, a very comfortable atmosphere. All right?
So I want you to give us a little feel. The name, one would almost say is kind of dreamy, so to speak. Tell us a little bit about the whole team behind the event in terms of Dream, the alternate reality. What does that mean?
What we were trying to portray is that coming out of all the difficulties we've had in the past 2 years, you're looking for that bit of happiness, that period of a time where you could just let go and just be yourself and just be a part of something that, what would be your wildest dream. So you come to Dream, and if you want to have a good time with your friends, you want to just let go for that one night, you maybe going through something, Dream is the place. We're also going to transform that floor space into something really dreamy. I don't want to let go too much. Can't give it too much information. And as we said, rain, ladies, you could come, your makeup won't sweat away. You could dress up in your heels. You don't have to worry about the floor. It's totally comfortable, and we're going to do something really beautiful for Tobago.
October 1st, can we look forward to any surprise appearances within the event? Only I'll give you something here to Tobago up this morning.
What I will say is that we have booked one of the biggest soca stars in the space. He's loved by the ladies. I'll just leave it there.
Leave it right there.
And I'm also going to say, when he's here, we bring him right here at Tobago Updates.
Excellent. So we have that commitment very early.
Yes,
so you will get the first look here in terms of connecting with Dream, the alternate reality. As we're speaking this morning and heading on in, October 1st is some weeks away. What can we anticipate in preparation and in the lead up to this event?
Well, I would say we have early bird tickets that will be going on sale from the 20th. Of this month, yes. They are limited,
So when they drop, we hope people go out and get them as soon as possible. After that, then you could look forward to more little snippets that would try to build a little bit of excitement in the population, you know.
And what are those early bird tickets going to start at in terms of the cost?
180 for the ladies, 200 for the men.
And we want to reiterate, please get those tickets as soon as they drop, because when we drop the artists start dropping a few days later. We don't want to be left outside.
All right. Where would persons be able to access those tickets?
Committee members, Barcode, Lost, Jade Monkey.
All right. In terms of some of the places tonight, now we're going into the promotions a little bit that will be taking place. Of course, going to an event like October 1st, we're expecting to be able to meet and engage along the way. Any promotional plans to be rolled out in terms of the lead up to October 1st?
We plan on working with a lot of the Tobago mass bands, and also we want to help other Tobago promoters, because the experience of Tobago Carnival involves everybody, and to have that Tobago feel, we have to support each other. So we're on board with Iconic Mass so far for the Carnival in October, the 28th and the 29th, or the 29th and 30th, sorry. I think they would most likely be there with their showcasing their masks, their costumes and so forth. And we're willing to work with all the Tobago talent to give them a stage to be able to showcase their talent as well.
To be able to promote. This event has the opportunity, as it would appear, to be starting off October, heading into our October Carnival. Why is it important to set that tone? Are you prepared to do that in such a manner that by the time people are done with this event, Crush is the only entity they want to be able to connect with when you're heading into Carnival 2022?
And it's funny as you say that, we've had the support from both Mr. Cowan at Shaw Park Complex and the Honorable Chief Sec, Mr. Augustine, and they were, the Chief Sec was actually quite excited that, we have this event to start the Carnival, and it's important that we set the tone, especially being our first time hosting Carnival in October. So setting the tone and having a above standard event is very important to us, and we think is important to the Tobago space in Carnival.
So I like the fact that you mentioned above standard. Give us an idea, what form is this going to take? Because people want to know, is it a come out in your bikini, come out in shorts, come out classy? What form will this event take for Dream, the alternate reality?
Dream has always been a really dress up event. We want to continue that same vein. We have lots of giveaways, lots of tidbits to give you in the event. It will be something I don't think that we've seen in an event in Tobago as yet. We're working on providing a really, really nice atmosphere. Decor, everything will blow your mind from you step into the event space and throughout the night.
Why is this a must attend? October 1st, 2022.
What I would say is, over the years, Dream has been known for excelling and providing an atmosphere for its patrons that has always been exceptional. All right, and this has been shown in the gradual but consistent growth over the years. And after the 2-year hiatus, we have been pushing for this, and we are finally able to give them something that they could look forward to, and we could have tell them that we would not fail them. All right, this is going to be an exceptional event to attend, and we will blow your mind.
Right. So viewers, I'm taking careful note. I'm hearing giveaways. I'm hearing about an exceptional experience. I'm hearing that, in fact, it goes above and beyond what you've been accustomed to from before COVID. So definitely it's something to look forward to. As we look to wrap this morning's interview, remind our viewers again, when is this taking place, where is it going to be happening, and of course, why they must ensure that they attend this event, and the cost for tickets and so on, and where they can get them.
So just remember, Dream, October 1st, Shaw Park Complex. Tickets go on sale the 20th of August. Early bird tickets, 180 females, 200 males. Get those tickets as soon as they drop. Guys, get those tickets as soon as they drop. When the headline artists drop, ladies, you're going to be wow. You're going to want to go to Shaw Park that day when the artist drops.
Right, and I can't help but going into the terminology here. The total number of alternate realities are endless, but the perfect reality, that's the one that transports you into surreal state of mind. On October 1st, 2022, Mighty Crush Entertainment enters the realm of the unknown, but they're going to give us some sneak peeks in September so that we know what's happening in the lineup. We want to thank you so much again for joining us on set. And folks, this is the opportunity to look forward to it. It's October 1st. It's the start of Carnival 2022 here in the Tobago space, courtesy Mighty Crush Entertainment, and we therefore want to thank these two directors for joining us on set this morning, Kershawn Morton and Nikosi, really to bring us the information and to remind you. And notice he has said repeatedly, get your early bird tickets. Get your early bird tickets, because by the time information starts to drop with regards to the artists and so, it just happens that there's going to be no more early bird tickets available in the lineup. So thank you so much again for joining us on set. And we look forward to that commitment as well. They're coming right here to let us know who the artist is going to be right here on the Tobago Updates morning show. Shout outs again to Liesel James, the entire committee, and all members of the team are working along with Mighty Crush Entertainment. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for connecting with us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. Those of you joining us via Gael, those joining us via M&E TV, those listeners on Smash Radio, and those of you listening to us on Street 91.9 FM, and each and every one of you continuing to connect with us on social media. Thank you so much for the love and support. I see Doniel Vincent joining us on the live, Kerry. I see Giovanni Campbell, Marcia, Alan Boucher, Shamfa joining us on the live, Iveen, Keeve, Andrea. Thank you so much to each and every one of you continuing to connect with us here at the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, from here we head on over to GMT. Good morning, Tobago with Candice. So we invite you to stay tuned. All right, and we want to thank you so much again. Do have a great day. This is it here for us at the Tobago Updates morning show, and stay tuned as we head on over to GMT with Candice. Bye bye.
Rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We specialize.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gael. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe, cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy our treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The 53rd Annual General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasters Union officially opened last night at the Magdalena Grand Hotel. Dozens of Caribbean journalists and broadcasters are in Tobago for the conference. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Chief Secretary Fali Augustin challenged journalists to tell the Caribbean story to the world. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley urged broadcasters to rethink the current pattern of reporting news and instead be focused on accurate, credible, and verifiable reporting. The annual General Assembly of the CBU continues today with the Caribbean Media Awards taking place tonight. Meanwhile, woman police officer Ian Jordan, attached to the Sherman Road Police Station, was honored yesterday for her heroic actions in stopping a robbery. On July 9, WPC Jordan was one of the officers responding to a robbery at a Chinese restaurant on Sherman Road, where bandits sought to attack her and take away her firearm. For her heroic actions, Jordan was honored by her fellow servicemen with a surprise appreciation ceremony. Commenting on the incident, WPC Jordan said she was determined to not let the bandit get away, even if it cost her her life. And nationally, as promised, the government of Trinidad and Tobago issued a 6-month ban on the export of scrap iron from the country in an effort to deal with the theft and vandalism of state and private assets. The measure came into effect on August 12th following a cabinet decision, but was announced yesterday during a press conference with Attorney General Reginald Amor. Perpetrators can face a fine of up to $15,000 or a maximum of 12 months imprisonment. Within 3 months, the Attorney General will present a draft regulatory framework for the scrap iron industry to be considered by Cabinet. Meanwhile, the Scrap Iron Dealers Association of Trinidad and Tobago is preparing to take legal action against the state for the ban. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And well, as one of our stories, we spoke about, a special honorary celebration ceremony for one of our women police officers in the form of Ian Jordan. And of course, she would have been instrumental in stopping a robbery that was ongoing just about a month ago. And, she was honored by her fellow officers. And, we have Senior Superintendent Benjamin Onstad with us this morning. And I just wanted to get started off with that story and being able to appreciate the work of our police officers, putting their lives on the line, because WPC Jordan is a very small woman. And she was able to take down this bandit that was perhaps twice her size. And she was not afraid, and she was ready to go, and she was not about to let that bandit win. So, Senior Soup, could you just tell me a little bit about, just being able to appreciate your officers and the work that your officers do?
Yeah, and first of all, let me just say a pleasant, good morning to all your listeners and to you as well, Candice. It is really a privilege to stand here as the Senior Superintendent and celebrate with the officers of the Sherman Police Station the heroic action of WPC Jordan. And not just WPC Jordan, but I think on a whole, there are so many unsung heroes within the police service that, again, we don't really hear their stories. Yes. And I think what was so very tremendous about WPC Jordan's situation, it was a challenge where, again, she would have been there, and I mean, her life was literally on the line. I think people don't fully understand the story behind it. But however, the very actions of WPC Jordan should be commended. And again, we joined with all the officers there and the whole of the Tobago Division to really let persons know that when police officers go out there, it is not a jokey job. It is not a job where we just take it for granted. Sometimes people just want results, but we don't recognize that people's lives are on the line. But we continue to do our job without malice or favor, or even ill will. We do it because we love the job. We believe that you know, in making a difference, you can save someone's life. And for this, we just want to, you know, congratulate her, and again, congratulate all the police officers on a whole that continue to do human service even when you're not even recognized, because I think they are the real heroes of Tobago Division.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to even seeing more celebrations like this because, like you said, our officers do a lot of hard work. They put their lives on the line, and we don't always realize what it takes or the risks they take in making sure that we, the public, can be safe. So we're certainly looking forward to seeing more of those appreciation, more of those highlights of our officers, so we, the public, can celebrate with them.
Yes, certainly, and that is something that is on the cards for us here in Tobago. In fact, we want to have that Unsung Heroes Day where we would really recognize these officers. There are a lot of stories. We had quite a lot of successes this year, and we want to have another. We had one last year where we actually, you know, had a time when we promoted and celebrated all those officers last year. We want to do one this year, and it's on the card for us to do one probably in the month of September. So you're going to hear about it, and again, we're hoping that the media is going to come and be a part of it as we celebrate these officers that continue to give human service to this island.
Certainly, because we like highlighting those stories as well.
Certainly, that's
and
right.
not just the bad, like, and we're going to get into the bad a little bit today.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, not bad on the police officers, but we're just highlighting a bad situation that's happening within our country. And that has to deal with child pornography. And there was a breakthrough in some persons that were involved in that recently. So I would just like you to expand on that story, give us some perspective of what's happening.
Right, so basically it's from an ad that was, or at least an editorial that was made in one of our papers last week, and it highlighted the fact that there were police officers, doctors, engineers, again, a lot of persons from the upper echelon of society that were part and parcel, and I'm using the word here, I'm phrasing it, that kind of porn ring that dealt with child pornography. And I think that the commissioner wanted us to deal with that issue so that we can, first of all, make it, you know, put it out there when we talk about child pornography, what we're talking about, and let people understand the seriousness of this. All right. The reality is, when we deal with child pornography, we are talking here about, when you look at the child or the Child's Act or the Children's Act, I think 5601. It clearly shows in section 40, 41, and 42, which is very instructive, that any person who makes or permit to be made any child pornography, all right, or even a copy of it, that person has committed an offense. And anybody who distributes or publish or even transmit or show it, that person has committed an offense. And if found liable, upon conviction, indictably, they can face up to $30,000 and 10 years imprisonment. And that is very, 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 very important.
I want to get into a little bit about what is considered as child pornography, because sometimes I don't think us as a public really understand what those lines are. So can you give us a lot of details of what is considered child pornography?
But when we talk about child pornography, we're talking here about anything that shows a child in a lewd or nude state, and any abuse of a child, any child doing any illicit act or anything of the sort. And again, anything of that nature would be considered child pornography. What we recognize is that some people, they are in groups and WhatsApp groups, and for one reason or the next, a person might send in a clip or something of that sort, and what happened is that persons probably innocently or sometimes recklessly would send it to someone, say, hey, did you see this? Hey, doesn't this look like somebody that we know? And you keep sending it from one to the next, and it continues to just make the wrongs. We are saying when you do that, you are practicing the distribution of child pornography, and therefore it's a very serious thing, because once the police can find out and we can show that you are contributing, whether you're distributing or whether you're showing, whether you're transmitting, you can find yourself again in that situation.
And I wanted to emphasize that point a bit, because again, like you said, sometimes it's very innocent and you don't think about it. but us transmitting, like, you know, just forwarding that those videos, those pictures, we are part of that child pornography ring.
That's right.
And we need to use that strong language.
Yes, and it's probably doesn't sound very nice, but the reality is when we do it, whether we do it, as I said, innocently or not, we are contributing to that. And you see, a lot of people don't understand the consequences of it, but we are saying that you need to understand what the law says about it. Because one of the next extreme to that is that sometimes we expose children to these things, you know, and when let's also define when we talk about a child what we're talking about, because I think sometimes persons think when we're talking about child, we're thinking about person 6 years or 7 years. Understand that when we talk about a child, we're talking about a person that is under the age of 18. So you have a person, a young boy that is 16 or 17, and you say, boy, you know what, sweet 16, you know, come and watch something, be a man, come and watch, and you expose that child to pornography and so forth, especially child pornography. You are exposing a child, and the law in, I think, in section 41 says, if you expose a child to that child pornography or so, you are committing an offense, and once it could be proven, you can face up to at least indictable, I think it's summarily at $5,000, 9 months, and if indictably, probably $30,000 and 5 years imprisonment under section 41. So again, it is so very, this thing, it goes far and wide, and people need to understand it so that they do not find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
If, as a person, you know, you receive these messages, like say you receive a video or a picture of a child, you know, perhaps nude or exhibiting some kind of a lewd or sexual behavior, what should be your action?
One time, I think you need to delete it, and secondly, you need to advise the person that sent it to you that you're not, you know, this is inappropriate and that it is wrong. I am saying if you recognize that this is a trend, then you should also bring it to the attention of the police, so that the police can, again, deal with this matter, because, again, it is something that we recognize in the developing world. It is something that is very lucrative, and we do not want to ensure, even as Trinidad and Tobago become a more developing society, that we do not catch the flu of the developing world. We do not want to see this being my part, even though we recognize that it is slowly creeping in here. I have asked Inspector Miller if we had any account of something of this nature. He says yes. So I know it is already here in Tobago. However, it's probably not very prevalent. Nevertheless, before it becomes a tree, we want to clip it at its roots, so that persons in Tobago must not be, at least, you know, party to these sorts of things. So that is why we are bringing it to the fore at this time.
And you sort of preempted my next question, and that was in regards to the child pornography ring. And I just want to get a little bit of more details, or whatever details that you're able to share with me at this point in time, as to the nature of that ring and how wide and how deep it is. You know, just some information that you can share with the public.
Well, what I can see is that, again, when you recognize the child pornography ring, this is something that is global. It is something that very, as I said, it's very big in terms of the developing world, and recognize that, again, Trinidad and Tobago, because of the type of society we are, there are always persons here, and if the article, and I'm saying if the article has any truth, and I want to just at this point in time say to persons that the Commissioner of Police has placed in Superintendent Guy Allen, who is a Child Protection Unit head, to look into this matter and to investigate the matter. So the matter is presently being investigated as to the truthfulness of this article. So I'm saying, if, let's say, the article is true, you recognize that because of the type of players that are in this sort of thing, police officers, engineers, doctors, and so forth, that, again, you recognize it's really people from all part, or, you know, strata of society that are involved. And therefore, again, these things would you really need to curb them very early, because, again, it can have a serious negative effect on our society.
Right, and then of course we're talking about children here, and these images, they're going about and they're being circulated in public, and our job as adults should be, as police officers, as whatever we be in the society, should be to protect our children. Now, are we in society paying attention to these things and paying attention to our role when it comes to, just a message coming in on our phone?
And I think that really and truly that's a very salient question, because the truth is, I think that we're not paying enough attention. Because again, when people see it, again, sometimes we're very much people who are very curious and always like to share things, to run after the gossip, the good story,
Yes.
to share it first and so forth. And it's time that we become responsible individuals, and this is what we are calling for Trinidad and Tobago to become more responsible in terms of what we do and how we do things. Because there can be serious consequences. The impact on the mental, the physical, the emotional, psychological aspect of the child, that this is I think it can be irreparable sometimes when these things are done. Because again, sometimes these children are victims. Sometimes these people they are forced into these situations. And again, think about it, where a child is induced into that, or again, a parent facilitates. Many times what you recognize is that parents, in order to get extra money, they would normally just say, hey, how much you give me? All right, child, just do it once, and so on. But you do that against the child's wishes, and it goes there. And I want to just highlight here, section 42 clearly shows that anybody who facilitates that type of process or that type of activity, you are liable for 12 years imprisonment. That's how serious it is. So therefore, we are saying when a child might be prey to that situation and you keep spreading it all over the place, it can have serious consequences to that child's mental and emotional health.
And I don't think we also realize that sometimes when we share those things, they don't just stay within Trinidad and Tobago, it goes global.
That's right. That is so important and very something that I think that we do not think about, that we think it's just to our friend that we share it. But again, when it's online, the whole world knows about it, you can just say. And therefore, we have to be very responsible individuals and ensure that that does not be a part of what we want to promote here in Trinidad and Tobago. I think what we need to do is to sit down and really see what are some of the guidelines that could help us curb some of those situations.
And I also want to touch on, just children themselves, because sometimes these images are shared with each other and they do not understand the ramifications of it. And what should us as adults, parents, guardians, family members do when they notice their child is sharing these images?
Right, and that's again another, I would say, an ace question, because that is exactly what I think we need to address. We are saying that, first of all, parents need to take a more active role in terms of what your children watch. And I think one of the things I would like to suggest is that parents would stop and at the end of every day, have that open conversation with your child so that they can talk to you as to what they're doing, what they're looking at. And even so, you need to sometimes inspect their telephones and their devices to make sure that what they're looking at is what they're saying, because children would not, they know the standard of their parents, and some of them, they can hide very well. So you need to inspect those phones and devices to ensure that they are not really seeking to say one thing and do another thing. We want to also encourage parents, again, the smart TV that we have. We need to, again, look at the control mechanisms, and if we can put the different control mechanisms on it so that you can have that parental guide to prohibit certain pornographic material to be aired on those smart TVs. We need you to do that. Whatever it takes. Sometimes you might need to go to the provider and talk to them to tell them, look, you see, for my television, we do not want this, we want this, etc. So that, because I want my child to be more educated, and you make that arrangement. But whatever it takes, we believe that more needs to be done to ensure that we really help our young people in this situation.
And then finally, I want you to tell me a little bit about how the police themselves, how does the police support us, the public, in ensuring that we can keep our children safe? Like when these situations come to light, what kind of support and guidance does the police go for?
Well, I can tell you there are three things that we can do. One, again, let's start with the Child Protection Unit. The Child Protection Unit has now been all engulfed into what we call the Special Victims Unit. And now the Special Victims Unit has a special assignment that they have some of their officers going into the schools, talking to the children, about these things, so that we are sensitizing them. We have the community policing that also is in this, sensitizing the children as to what is happening. From the Tobago space, we have what we call the C project that is going to start from September, where is what we call school education and awareness program, where we're going into the schools, and every station is to adopt a school, and therefore they will go into the schools and again bring some more awareness. We want to also use programs like yours, where we're able to educate persons, and therefore I think when people are more educated, they can make a more informed decision, and therefore we believe this is one of the ways that we're going to do it. The media ambassadors, we are charged with that responsibility as well, to go into the various media houses and share the information. Last but not least, when a person is a victim, we have what we call the Special Victims Unit. They are there to add that level of support by talking to the victims, because again, sometimes we just talk about the crime, but the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we also look at the victims, and therefore the Victim and Witness Support Unit, they are there to talk to these children and to help them through these tough times so that they can still be an asset to society.
And I think it's important to emphasize the fact that the police are there to help. And
definitely, and I think sometimes people see us as the enemy, but really and truly, we are there to protect and to serve. And I think that serving part is where the helping is all about. Whatever problems you have, the police service is here. I think the approach has to be different. We have to be much more community centered. We have to start to be more sensitive to the needs and to the victims of crimes. And therefore, that is the mission of the present executive here in the Tobago space. And we want to continue to really reach out to our victims, reach out to Tobago on a whole, and let you know that, the very face of the police is changing in a more positive direction so that we can have a better Tobago.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Senior Superintendent Benjamin, for continuing to come on our program and for giving us that information and to enlighten the public about the police and your work.
Thank you so much, Candice, and to all that is listening, thank you for listening as well.
All right, great. Well, viewers, we have a lot more coming up for you on the program, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after the break.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts to rise.
The Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting carried for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
Tell us about your organization, institution, when established, organizational structure. What are your organization's cause, mission, objectives? Please provide us with your organization's website, email, or social media handle. Does your organization have a bank account with a financial institution in Tobago? If so, please provide us the name of the financial institution. What is your role within the organization? How do we contact you? In 100 words or less, please tell us a bit about your organization's good work and why a donation from team might help. If your organization is selected to receive a donation from team, how will the funds be utilized? How will the community or constituency served by your organization benefit from a team donation? How would the donation from team be publicly acknowledged or advertised?
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Excel Spa by Haley. where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susalands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Exhales Power Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. And joining me on set is two remarkable people who have been doing good things for Tobago abroad. And these are people from the Tobago Drama Guild. We first have none other than Tabiti, yes. And then we also have one of the actors, Rosha Frank. And of course, we are talking about blood money. Now, viewers, I don't know if you got a chance to see Blood Money I think it was last month?
Yeah.
Yes. Last month in Tobago, they had a couple shows, and they were able to take this to Toronto. So, first of all, a special good morning and welcome to you guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to say thanks to the people of Tobago who supported our tour.
All right, great. Now, first of all, let's get into what Blood Money is and the story of Blood Money for those viewers who did not get the chance to go out and see it. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Tabiti. Tell me a little bit about what the storyline of Blood Money is about.
It is about the underclass taking an opportunity to invest, first of all, in the susu that happened, yeah, and the criminal element taking advantage of that because it was not legal to rob the place. And so it's taken a look at privileges that come unexpectedly. So these guys robbed the place where the susu was held when the police there was a police raid and they had to run, so they discarded the money. And the money was found by a character named Monica, who said, well, finders keepers. And it was quite a large sum of money. So she began immediately to spend the money and to make good use of it. And I would not continue with the tale because Monica is here with us. And we are still good. We have to take the play to Trinidad and on tour to Tobago, perhaps. So I would not say more, but that is a wonderful kind of intro to what happens. But there's a lot more to it than just that.
And you guys just came back from Toronto. So, and did you guys do any tours in New York, or was it just Toronto?
Just Toronto.
Just Toronto.
Just Toronto. So tell me, how was that experience for you, Rochelle? You know, being one of the lead actors in there and then getting to perform this wonderful production out there in Toronto.
Well, I described it to Sir
before as an educating adventure. I've never traveled outside of the country before, so
this was your
my
first time. Wow.
Yes. So it was really exciting to travel outside of the country for the first time, to engage in something as wonderful as the play Blood Money, and also being one of the lead characters, as you said, you know, in a different environment, a different space, a different culture. But the work was really accepted because our audience, a lot of them has Trinidad and Tobago roots and Caribbean roots, and they really understood and appreciated the story, which made it even better and made the actors, us as a cast and crew, feel that we did a job well done.
Now, the Tobago Drama Guild has been doing a lot of remarkable work in Tobago when it comes to productions and so on. It is one of the meccas for production, and it's, I think sometimes that we don't give you guys the credit that you guys deserve for the work that you guys been doing. Of course, I'm seeing some images here of this. It's a production in Toronto.
Yes. Yes, it is. And those are drummers from Toronto that we just saw, Keith Pascal. We had a collaboration with groups in Toronto. The music and the dance and the drumming came from performers in Toronto.
So Tobago-based persons in Toronto was able to do some of those things?
Trinidad and Tobago based.
Wow.
Yes.
And there's one guy, the musician, the bass guitarist, Hamilton Scott, who is from Tobago, and he was quite useful and quite happy to be a part of this production.
Is this the first time that you guys were able to take the production outside?
This is our second production outside of Tobago. We went to New York probably 5 or 6 years ago with Eric Roach's Bel Panto. And that too was well received and well appreciated by Caribbean people who are sort of hungry for home stories and home talent, you know, so the support out there is great. And it would not have been possible for us to do this show. We had a cast and crew of 26, and only 11 of us were able to go on tour. We had to raise our own money. And it was quite a large sum because an average across the board was 15,000.
Yeah.
About 15,000 per person. And we had to raise the money. We got funding from some good people. Dr. Ross Roach and her husband Cecil offered their home, and it was large enough to accommodate the 13 of us, fortunately. Yes. And our patrons contributed and assisted. We went out actually begging on Facebook and the social media for assistance. We had soup sales. We did what was necessary to raise the money. And so we went out there, and we had sold out audiences for both performances and had to turn away people. And so that is a good thing.
And I know Miss Uzuro Birchwood would have also been one of those people that have been working hard with you guys to get you guys out there. Yes. And I just want you to talk a little bit about, you know, her involvement and you know, what she has done to make sure that the Tobago Drama Guild can get out there on the international stage.
Well, Cheryl, my wife, wrote the play, Blood Money. She is our resident playwright, and she has written most of the work that I have directed and we have produced, you know. We are hoping, looking forward to our next production, another play that she wrote called The Boss, and we would like to do that before the end of the year. But before we do that, we are going to participate in the Bago Mass, which is something that the Guild does as well. We are a carnival band. Yeah. And what else can I say that Tobago doesn't know about Miss? Yeah.
All right, and I mean, I want to get into you, Rochelle, a little bit, right? As how long have you been a part of the Tobago Drama Guild?
A little under a year. I started performing with them, doing little pieces for competitions, and then officially enrolling as a member at the start when we started reading for Blood Money, reading the play and, you know, getting characters, kind of auditioning in a way, and then we started blocking. So a little under a year, I would say.
And how has this experience, you know, helped you? How has the Drama Guild helped you into develop your skills as an actor?
Right, so I was always involved in the drama and theatre field as a high school student at Signal Secondary School under the tutelage of Mr. Garnet Lawrence. So when I entered the Drama Guild, I just continued that love for theatre and that passion for theatre. And theatre is something that really helps to keep you disciplined, and under Miss and BT that is extended in terms of being disciplined and, you know, always being on time. So it really gives you life skills, and it has enhanced my life skills in terms of discipline and being punctual and all these things that you would need to become an overall well-rounded adult.
And Tabiti, we've been seeing lately that, you know, drama in Tobago has been developing more and more to the sense where, you know, it's more structured. There seems to be a bit more focus on, you know, bringing it to life in a way that we haven't before. And I just want to tell me a little bit about your experience in terms of, you know, bringing in young people like Rochelle on your team and then guiding them through to become these great actors to come out from Tobago.
It is catching on. It began, I can say safely, sometime in 2000. The Tobago Secondary Schools Drama Festival.
Yes.
Just a bit after that, the theatre arts was on the syllabus for secondary schools. And I taught theatre arts at Goodwood High School. And the school, Miss, she prefers to be called Miss. We were able to do a magnet at Goodwood for the arts and got special funding to do lights and sound, state-of-the-art light and sound at the school. And we attracted a lot of kids who were interested in theatre. So out of that, a lot of the members of TPAC came out of that program, came out of the Secondary Schools Drama Festival, that came out of the inability for the Secondary Schools Drama Festival to host Tobago schools, to be good hosts for Tobago schools. We formed our own Tobago Secondary Schools Drama Festival. It lasted for well over 15 years, and I guess when Miss and I left the system, the festival died.
Yes.
I suppose that secession planning was not done to maintain that. But before we go off and before I close, I want to go back to Toronto and say a big thank you to the Consul General, Tracy Manette. Tracy did all that she could to make our production a success. And as we speak, she is still doing things to promote the Drama Guild and to promote Trinidad and Tobago culture. Thanks again, Tracy Ramsuba Manette. Yes, and you were asking.
Well, I was just asking about the experience, you know, because we've seen, and I know like people like Jared Primer and
he was a part of the festival.
Yes, and Garnet Lawrence and, you know, Akin Labi Holder. All of these people would have been there from the early 2000s, right? And now they are they're making moves right now in the drama space. But I just want you to tell me the experience now over the last few years. Now that we've had like CXC having drama as one of the subjects
on the syllabus for
right.
theater, yes.
I mean, how has that changed, and how has that improved the level of students or young people like Rochelle that comes to you to you know, further their careers in theater?
I always say that, like with most professions, people are born into it. You cannot really train people. So it is an opportunity to hone their skills, to teach them the discipline, as Rochelle said, of being on time, you know, paying attention to the environment and the people around you, and to be focused. More than anything else, to be focused on what you're doing. I have been involved in theater since around age 8, well over 50-something years. So my heart and soul is, I'm an actor, and I wanted to be an actor since I was 8 years old. And I would always say that. You know, what do you want to be? I'm going to be an actor. And I'd be a stage actor. I was so specific, you know. But I've done television, I've done radio, I've done movies, including Turn of the Tide, the movie, The Right and the Wrong, that was Trinidad and Tobago's first movie, locally made movie. And yeah, I've been there, I've been around. I've introduced so many people to theater. And I really would like you to talk more to Rochelle.
I'm not coming to her. I'm not coming to her. And I mean, you know, my question to you is that, you know, why does Tobago need to get on board and get on board more to support the Drama Guild and to support actors like yourself out there?
Well, the arts need to continue. Theatre is a really nice thing that people should really get involved with. And although Miss Antabiti focuses on the cultural side, keeping our culture and our heritage alive in a lot of the plays that they do, and also bringing the some of the social issues into play, theatre also helps to do that. There's a lot of uncomfortable topics that people don't like to talk about. There's a lot of things that people may not know about. And in theatre, you can bring all of that together and portray it in a wonderful production. You could have some humor, you could have some cries, some laughs, you know, everything in between there. And you could also learn lessons, because when us as the actors do our jobs good, you really get the sense of the story and you get that message, because every production has a message in it. Although it could be a comedy, it may be any tragedy, anything like that, all productions have a message behind it. So once we get that message out, and I think theatre is another way to do that. I know some persons might try the direct approach, but not everybody likes that approach. So theatre is a way of bringing those issues to the forefront and for getting the message across effectively, efficiently, and in an enjoyable way.
And I think one thing that we also need to highlight is the fact that theatre is not just about the actor. There's a whole industry around it, whether you're lights, sound, floor, you know, set design.
Crew.
Everything. There's a whole lot involved.
Without the crew, the cast can't function.
Yes.
Right, and then what message do you have for people in Tobago, especially young people that are watching, to get involved with theatre, even if it's not as an actor?
I would say, even though you're not on the stage, as I just said before, the cast can't function without the crew. Without our stage manager, Sophia Cooper, or technical director like Mr. Curtis Bechan, a lot of things wouldn't have been possible. So even though some persons don't like the attention of being on stage, or they may be shy, the crew actually has a lot to do with what happens on stage and how the production looks and is presented to the audience. So they should really get into that. And as I said earlier, it would also help them to hone, as I said, their life skills, a lot of life skills that they can use as adults in the work field, or even in their own personal professions if they plan to own businesses or anything like that.
Franz Job was our musical director.
Yes.
Miss Carrington.
Dominic Carrington, yes.
Dominic Carrington was our choreographer. They both could not make the tour with us, but certainly they are with us. Franz was home last night rehearsing. We have built our own theater space. We seat around 80 people, and that is good. I want to mention one thing that came to mind when we talk about things that are not comfortable to speak with. We, Miss and I, traveled to Georgia. Lawrenceville is the name of the place, and happened into a theater because we saw it and we say, wow. And we went into the space and we met with the artistic director of the space. And when she recognized that we were from the islands and that we were theater people, one thing led to the next. Georgia, as you know, is just one of the seats of the Ku Klux Klan, yeah, and that space is really working towards integration. There's a large Caribbean community in Lawrenceville, and our next project will be to go to Lawrenceville with blood money, along with it's a collaboration between my friends in Toronto, people from Tobago, and people, Caribbean people in Georgia. So it's going to be a big event, and we are going to have it for Emancipation Weekend in Georgia. So you see the importance of theater in bridging these gaps, you know. America would celebrate their emancipation Juneteenth. I think it's June the 17th or 18th, you know. So to have this event August 1st in Georgia is something that we so look forward to. We'll be working with the La Petite Musicale of Toronto. Lindy Burgess is the musical director. And Chevel's brother, Birchwood, Mr. Birchwood.
Right. So we're certainly looking forward for that. Now, just very quickly, because we are out of time and we have to wrap. So, Russia, just can you give our viewers just an idea of how to follow the journey of the Tobago's Writers Guild?
How to, like...
No, not the Writers Guild.
The drama.
I'm sorry, the Dramas Guild. Sorry. My apologies.
No.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page, TTDG. They can go there and join the group. And also, we are located in Lowlands, Ashella Drive, opposite Magdalena entrance on the highway. And you could just walk into the space and talk to Miss Ansa. They are that inviting, they are that hospitable, you know, and get into contact with them. And, you know, come to the space. And profess your love.
All the time. Challenor Birchwood is my brother-in-law's name. And he is he's going to be working on in Lawrenceville as our collaborator.
All right, great.
Good.
But we have some good things coming out of the Tobago Dramas Guild, and we are certainly looking forward to all of that in the future. And for those of you who didn't get to see Blood Money, well, hopefully soon you'll get a chance to see it. All right, so I want to thank you so much for being on set with us this morning. And viewers, unfortunately, we are out of time. But before I go, I just need to remind you that tonight at 7 o'clock, we should be broadcasting live the Caribbean Media Awards. And that's taking place at the Shore Park Multicultural Complex. So you certainly do not want to miss it. So stay logged on to the Tobago Updates page, and onto the Tobago Updates YouTube page as well. And you can view the Caribbean Media Awards and celebrate excellence in media in the Caribbean. All right, viewers, and that's where we have to leave it. But just have a wonderful and productive day, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 7 a.m.
I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never